Today we're diving into our first question from the community. Why do I still get sore after months of CrossFit? So let's start from here. What is muscle soreness, muscle pain?
What is muscle soreness? It's when you stressed your body in any way, with weights, with cardio, and you made tiny tears in your muscle, and you feel that stiffness, and then those tiny tears, your body's going to start repairing them and hopefully make you stronger for the next time. So it's basically muscle damage you did by putting stress on your body.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be instant, that can be 2 days later, that can be the day after, it depends when it kicks in. Sometimes you think the day after that you're okay, and then 1 day later, then you start feeling the results of that workout, of a lot of deadlifts. All of a sudden your hamstrings are very stiff.
When I first saw this question was, what does after months of CrossFit mean? Means 3 months, means a year? What does it mean? But this was a question. I think it depends.
What was the question? Why do you still have muscle pain after months of CrossFit?
Yeah,
but
muscle soreness.
Yeah, what does months of CrossFit mean?
Yeah,
what does months of CrossFit mean? Does that mean you trained 5 days a week, 2 days a week? You did 1 week 1 time, the other week 2 times? I think it also will influence this muscle pain you might be feeling.
So let's imagine,
frequency is important.
Let's imagine the person asking us is a regular person coming to CrossFit for more than half a year, and she or he is training for, let's say, 3 to 4 times a week.
If somebody with 3 to 4 times a week would tell me that why am I still in muscle pain, I would probably start thinking towards, it's obviously not a frequency thing because you're very frequent in the gym. You might be overdoing it. You might be pushing a little bit too far, and maybe take a little bit of a step back and not try to do the max every time. It's also something I would never recommend, that everybody that steps in here to go full out every time on every training, lift the maximum weight on every time it's a lifting thing, but just step back a bit, 10% less, see a little bit how your body reacts to that. We just had our clash done last week. And to some of them, I already told them, I would wish that I would see you give that type of intensity at least once a week. What I saw you do there. Not every day, but once a week, go there to that. This is my environment, this is my workout, I'm going to do the max. This is my lift, I'm going to do the max. But you shouldn't do that every time. Not every day needs to go full out. And I think that's also a big influencer of the type of muscle pain and damage that you're creating for yourself.
So that's intensity, you mean?
Intensity.
So first was overdoing it, and now it's intensity you are referring to.
It can be both, yeah. So you can you overdo it by the intensity, or you overdo it by intensity because of the weights you use on the weightlifting, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But then on the other hand, why could, if it's not that, why could a person like that still be in full muscle pain? Is because you're not overtraining, you're under recovering. That's the other side of the equation. You're training a lot, but are you also doing all the other stuff that would help you recover from the damage you're doing? Mm-hmm. And that can be the nutrition. For example, after training, ideally, I would like you to, within 45 minutes to an hour, to get a high protein, high carb meal in. This will help you restore a little bit, or get started the recovery needed that you just did to your muscles, the damage. And then I'm talking about, what would it be, 1.6 to 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, and maybe about 5 to 9 grams of carbs per kilogram of body weight. In that direction, to think about that. I'm eating this meal to help my body recover from the damage I did, because I know a lot of people, they want to be lean and this and that, and they're very low carb, but you need the carbs to help you recover as well. You also need the carbs to give you energy for the training. So think a little bit about your food. If you don't think about it at all, and you're one of those that are in big muscle pain, think a little bit about how conscious are you of what you eat when you eat it, and are you thinking in that direction? I'm coming home and I need something high protein, high carbs, because I need to start the recovery process right now. Another thing would be, am I doing, for example, a sauna once a week, or am I doing foam rolling after the workout, or am I taking the time to cool down? Like for example, if I did a workout that after the workout my legs feel like 100 kilos because of the acid building up because I did so many squats or deadlifts or this and that, am I going to sit on the bicycle and slowly paddle for 5 minutes to get the acid out? So am I doing this stuff? If you're not, and the mobility and the stretching, if you're not, maybe you should start to incorporate. And I think it's going to have a big influence on that muscle pain that you have all the time. Or maybe you should just take a rest day more often than you think. Maybe you should play around with 2 days training, 1 day rest, instead of I do 5 days in a row. Or maybe it doesn't need to be a full rest day. It can be what I'm doing now, for example. 1 day I'm in the gym, 1 day I'm doing a run training. 1 day I'm in the gym, 1 day I'm doing a run training. And I'm describing it as a high-low day. The high day is the gym, lifting weights and metcon. That's a high stress on my body that day. The day after is, for example, can be a zone 2 run. I'm just conversational pace, 40 minutes to an hour. I'm just running, or I could be cycling, or I could be rowing, or I could be, it doesn't necessarily only need to be running, but it's a low impact day. I'm doing cardio, but it also helps me recover. So a high day, a low day, a high day, a low day. Maybe it's something you should play around with, and that will help how you feel. And recovering better will again make you improve in fitness. Because if you don't recover from your trainings, they can't help you. Eventually, if you keep being under-recovered, it's gonna lead to a pain. That would be the logical road you're on if you keep on this path. So it's important. You need to train to stay fit, to make progress, but you also need to recover from it. If you don't recover from it, train less and fix a bit your recovery. If the recovery is on point, you might be able to train more again. But it's all about listening to your body. How about you? You've been training for years. You still have muscle pain all the time?
Just sometimes. I was just about to add that if you encounter, for example, a movement that you didn't do so often, you might have a muscle soreness. So I think it's a utopic idea to think that you're never going to have muscle pain or muscle soreness ever in the gym if you are training constantly. Because CrossFit is very broad and you have a big variety of movements. So let me give you an example. Sumo deadlift high pull. No matter how much you train, if you don't do that specific movement, you will still get pretty fucked up after you do this. So for me, if I have a movement that I didn't do for a while, giving a closer example, back rack lunges, my butt cheeks are on fire 2-3 days after. So I don't think it's going to be ever a moment that you are not having muscle pain.
I think muscle pain is not a bad thing, but it depends. There is muscle pain and there is muscle pain. It is the muscle pain where you like tap your with 2 fingers on that muscle and it hurts. You went a bit too far on that. And there is muscle pain when I'm like squeezing my biceps, or I'm squeezing my scapula together and I'm feeling I did something.
You feel the work.
I feel I worked. That's just normal muscle pain. That's okay. But if we are 3, 4, 5 days still feeling the real pain and I can barely walk, then that's too much. Then we need to adjust a bit the intensity. But the thing is that CrossFit's main idea with constantly varied movement is that indeed you do a lot of different stuff. So your body is always guessing. So you will always, because of the big variation in movements, you'll always have a certain amount of muscle pain, which is normal. But it's that extreme muscle pain that should make you think of, what should I adjust? Is it the volume I put on that exercise? Is it the weight I put on that exercise? Is it the intensity in which I did that metcon? Is it that I'm under-recovered from the things I'm doing? Like, you need to then start thinking a little bit.
This is really good. This is very valuable what you just said. I think the muscle soreness comes after 3 things: time, volume, and load.
Mm-hmm.
Time, if it's a longer workout, over half an hour, close to an hour, for sure we're gonna get sore because it's a lot of work in that time.
Might be a stimulus that you're not used to. You're used to doing a lot of 15,
Shorts.
16, and all of a sudden you do a 30, 40. It's a stimulus. That's different than usual.
Reps. If you have, like, even Cindy, if you have Cindy and you go really strong at it, those hundreds of reps will tire your legs and will result in muscle soreness. Or if you're gonna go high loads, that's high weights. If you are constantly moving 40 kilos in every workout, if you put your hand on a 50 or a 60 kilos, even if it's a small rep range, you're still gonna get big muscle soreness. And you might end up, for example, just have hang power cleans. You're always doing it at 40 kilos, but then one day you're with your friends and they see you are strong and then let's go 60, and the next day you're going to be unable to stretch your arm completely. Your bicep will be too tight.
I had hang powers for the first time in a long time. So an exercise I know how to do, but I didn't do it in such a long time. And for me, my traps were fried for days after that because it was such a big stimulus of an exercise you didn't do in a long time, and it shocks you a bit. So that often happens when exercises you haven't done in a while or movement pattern you haven't done in a while. You need to be careful with what you choose to do that day, volume-wise and also weight-wise, because it's going to have an impact.
Yes, and one thing I would drag attention to is you shouldn't search daily for the muscle soreness, right? It was a very big misconception back in the days of Arnold days, let's say, or when we were teenagers, that you should have muscle pain, muscle soreness each time, because the definition was small muscle tears brings growth. Mm-hmm. If you don't feel your muscles sore, you didn't do enough. But this is nowadays cancelled by the new studies that it's not relatable constantly having muscle soreness with muscle growth.
No, you can make progress also not being in muscle pain. If I'm gonna do the same exercises every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'm training 5 days a week, eventually I won't have muscle pain, but I could still get stronger and I could still gain muscle if that's my goal. But because I'm constantly doing the same exercise and same movement patterns, my body adapting to it, doesn't mean I'm not progressing in other ways. So muscle pain doesn't equal progress. It can, but it also without, once your body adapts to it. But the thing with CrossFit is that the exercises switch so much that you have more chance to be in muscle pain. So that's why we need to make smarter decisions, certain moments, depending on how often do I train per week, when is the last time I did this exercise. And there you're going to have to make decisions, or you make them by yourselves, or you talk to your coach about this and he will help you make the right decisions. Is it smart to do 100 deadlifts at 60 kilos? If for weeks I'm always training 2-3 times a week, but I never catch deadlifts, probably not. We can maybe choose to or keep the weight and lower the reps. Maybe I do 50 with 60, or maybe if I want to do 100, maybe I should go 40. Mm-hmm. So we need to make smart decisions. Try to stop going blindly into a Metcon just because it's on the board. Everybody needs to think for themselves. Is this appropriate for me? Considering this and this. Things to keep in mind: frequency, when is the last time I did this exercise, what's my 1 rep max strength compared to the weight that's on the board for the Metcon, all those type of things. Keep it in consideration on your daily, day-to-day decisions in what you're going to do for the Metcon. Everybody should make these decisions for themselves. It's not a one thing fits for everybody. It shouldn't be. Not everybody has the same lifestyle. Not everybody has the same recovery. Maybe I'm still sore from another workout and my back muscles are still sore. I shouldn't be doing 100 deadlifts a day. Maybe I should switch the exercise completely and talk to the coach and say I'm a bit too sore to do deadlifts today, but I'm here. Yeah, indeed, like you said, we want you to think further than what's on the board. Don't just do something because everybody's doing it.
Exactly. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.